Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Social 101 Contemporary World. This is for educational use only. Our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Roldan Ardines, to use this as an educational materials. Our topic for today is all about ideology of globalization. So first we have introduction.
Good day everyone, I am Decadet Lamban, and for today I am discussing about the introduction of the ideologies of globalization by Manfred B. Steger. This topic explores the diverse and often conflicting perspectives on globalization. Steger delves into how globalization is understood and justified through various ideological senses, including economic liberalism, cultural cosmopolitanism, and political nationalism. The book examines how these ideologies influence policy and shape public perception of globalization's impacts, both positives and negative. It provides a critical framework for understanding the complex narratives that drive global integration and highlights the ideological battles that define contemporary global discourse.
Globalization. Globalization is the process of international integration arising from the interchange of worldviews, products, ideas, and other aspects of culture. Globalization means rapid increase in the share of economics activities taking place across national borders.
Economic globalization. In general, economic globalization broadly refers to increasing integration of national economies around the world, particularly through trade and financial flows. Economic globalization involves trade in goods and services, capital flows, and trade in assist, the transfer of technology and ideas, and international flows of labor or migration. There have been several periods of economic globalization. Some experts also contend there have been periods of deglobalization, the slowdown or reverse globalization. Political globalization is the growth of worldwide political system, both its size of complexity. The system includes national governments, their governmental and intergovernmental organization, as well as governmental independent element of global civil society, such as international non-governmental organizations and social movement organizations. One of the key aspects of the political globalization is the declining importance of the nation-state and the rise of other actors on the political scene. The creation and existence of United Nations is called one of the classic examples of political globalization.
Cultural globalization refers to the phenomenon where the experience of everyday life influenced by the diffusion of commodities and ideas reflects a standardization of cultural expressions globally. It is like a process of cultural blending where shared norms and knowledge emerge and connecting different populations and culture. So the next is ideological globalization. Ideological globalization refers to the various way in which ideology shapes and are shaped by the process of globalization. According to Manfred Strager, there are three main types of globalism that endow the concept of globalization with particular values and meanings. So the first globalism by Manfred Strager is the market globalism. This is like a consumer culture promotes brands like Coca-Cola, Apple, and McDonald's, and etc. So the second globalism is justice globalism, aims for fair relationships and environmental safeguards. And the third is jihadist globalism. Mao ni sila ang mga Muslims grievances and injustice caused by corrupt Muslims.
Okay then, let's discuss the reason of globalization. Better resources. Companies can find higher quality materials or skilled workers in a different countries. We all know this store. It's called Apple Incorporated. It's famous for its phone that is called iPhone, iPad, and MacBook for its high quality components from various countries such as processors from the US and screens from Japan to produce their advanced phones and their electronics. Low cost of production. Businesses can save money by producing goods in countries where it's cheaper to make things. For example, Nike. Its famous shoes in countries like Vietnam and China where labor production costs are lower compared to the US. The illusion of the local market. Expanding globally helps companies reduce dependence on a single local market that might be shrinking or too competitive. For example, Starbucks. We all know Starbucks. Starbucks expanded globally to reduce reliance in the US coffee market and to avoid potential saturation or economic downturns in any single country. Let's move on.
Operating internationally refers to a business conducting activities across national borders. This can involve a wide range of operations from simply exporting or importing goods to establishing fully owned subsidiaries in foreign countries. Key activities in international operation like exporting and importing, global sourcing, market expansion, and access to resources. Market expansion is when a business grows its customer base by selling its product or services to new customer or in new location. It's like expanding your territory to reach more people who might be interested in what you offer. Market expansion happens when it reaches full potential in its current market and identify new opportunities. Increased profit means a business is making more money than it did before. It's like getting a new bigger allowance. So increased profit usually happens when more money comes in by selling more products or services, raising prices, or finding new customer, and less money goes out by spending less on things like supplies, rent, or employee salaries.
Michael Freden. He argues that globalization functions as a significant ideological framework. He contends that globalization is not merely a set of economic or technological changes, but a pervasive ideology that influences political thought and action. This ideology promotes the idea of a global market and interconnected world, framing a global issues in terms of market efficiencies and integration. Freden suggests that globalization as an ideology shapes the way policies are formulated and how societies adapt to global changes. It tends to prioritize economic growth and market expansion, often at the expense of addressing local or national concerns. This perspective highlights how globalizations affect not just economic practices but also political ideologies and cultural attitudes.
What are the three criteria suggested by Frieden to the maturity of globalization? Following Michael Frieden 1986 485-6, we argue that maturity of ideologies should be assessed according to the three cardinal criteria. A. Their degree of distinctiveness. This measures how uniquely globalization is defined compared to other ideologies, emphasizing its own specific characteristics and principles. B. Their context-bound responsiveness to a broad range of political issues, and their ability to produce effective conceptual decontestation. This evaluates how well globalization adapts to and addresses diverse political and social issues in various contexts. This assesses globalization capacity to clarify and resolve conflicting interpretations and debates about its core concepts.
Mill, the growth of diversity. John Stuart Mill's On Liberty has become one of the archetypal texts of British, indeed modern, liberalism. We learn from it that liberalism is about identifying a protected private space distinct from the public arena, but behind the overtext, another text by Mill, are a number of subtexts that have been crucial in shaping its direction later this century. So basically, John Stuart Mill's book, In Liberty, is very important in understanding modern ideas about freedom. It says that people should have a private life that the government can control. But if you look deeper, there are other ideas hidden in his writing that have influenced how we think about freedom today.